Hello, everyone. My name is Katerina from Codacy, and I'm here today to talk to you about organization coding standards, which allow you to easily create and define code patterns at the organization level, which you can then apply to some or even all of your repositories within one workflow. And the good news is that right now you can set up to 10 different coding standards at the same time. So let's start by giving you some examples, and I'm going to show you how this works. So we are in the coding standards section here, and we are going to create a new standard. And for this example, we are going to imagine that we want to focus on security compliance. So I'm going to name this coding standard security. And in this case in particular, I'm not going to select a repository as a baseline. So we are going to start everything from scratch. So we are going to create a standard, and then we are going to select the programming languages. In this case, I'm going to select Java, JavaScript, and Kotlin. And after we select the languages, we go to tools and patterns. Now, the tools that you see here, Codacy already selected some that we recommended that you use based on the programming languages that were selected, but of course that you can select the other tools as well. Now, since we are focused on security for these coding standard in particular, let's start by going here, for example, to check style, and we go to the filters, and we are going to select the category as security. And in this case, we have nothing for security, but we can also see the severity level, and we want to focus on critical issues. So let's check the critical ones. Okay, we also don't have them. Let's do the same exercise for the detect tool. Let's go to filters, security, then critical. All right. Then go to ESLint, filters, security. Now, in this case, we can see that we have 14 enabled of 72 patterns, and we want everything. So we select everything for security, and let's do the same for critical issues. Again, 73 out of 88, so let's select them all. After we did this for ESLint, let's go here to PMD, the same procedure, security, select all of them, and then critical, and already all of them are already selected. Now, after we have done this, we can go and apply to the repos that we want and save our coding standard. And that's it. Now, this was one example for security, but it can also be the case that you want to create one coding standard for one particular team. So let's create a coding standard for our front end team. And in this case, we are going to select CSS, JSON, JavaScript, and XML, for example. And again, we already have some tools that are recommended, and we can further define the code patterns. For example, we can come here to the filters, we have different categories, and let's imagine that it's very important that we follow the code style. So we are going to select the code style once for everything. All right. And then we just select and apply the repos that we are interested in, and we are good to go in terms of coding standards. So as you can see, at the moment we have two different coding standards, and we can create up to 10. Now, another important thing to consider is that we can define a coding standard as default. So if you select this one as default, what is going to happen is that Codacy is going to automatically apply the coding standard to every new repo that you create, and that you don't need to worry about it. So every new repo is going to have the security coding standards applied. And then, of course, that you can edit the specific coding standard if you want to change something about it. And you can also delete it. So imagine that you do not no longer need it. You just click on the delete button and you delete the coding standards. That's it for today. Why don't you try it out for yourself and have fun creating up to 10 coding standards?